All right, I'm gonna do some practice here. Set up. Voila. Right, and setting everything up. All right, so that's the beat from yesterday or so, or the day before. And I did write some lyrics, but they're in the phone. So I was thinking I would practice them. Something. Anyway, this has already started, so I'm just going to do the sound check, make a little jam, jam-tastic jam-arino. I don't know if y'all know about the jam-arino or not. Jeff Van Sant. That name rhymes in itself. So, do I have a reverb on? Oh, yeah. There we go. Alright. So, I know I'm not as specific as most of the group members anymore, but what I can say most recently is that I am concentrating on going from my funky jazz-oriented dance music to just have rap on it. And I wrote some rap yesterday. And it's Beastie Boys style rap is kind of the thing. Now, it's not quite the same tone because they have a different attitude. But the only thing I can call it other than that is back in the 80s and 90s when dudes would hand the vocal to the next guys and they had multiple vocals. So they said, hey, this is the thing I'm saying. This is the thing that we're gonna say together. And so that's what it's all really about. Because that's my favorite style. I'm gonna do a little soundio checo. I don't like this tone. I'll check out why. Trying to not use my toes as much due to COVID. I invented COVID. I don't have a. I'll tell you about that. It was not a good experience. It's kind of the Frankenstein monster of my life. So. My tone is really just not jamming right now. What's the deal? This is the same preset I used yesterday. Let's see if I can do that. Sounds a little bit. As far as I'm concerned, it's kind of dumb. It's like, it's kind of neat, but it's not real. You know what I mean? It's like in the movies when the fake an echo and they're like, echo! Echo! And it's not real though. When you're making a real echo, it's real. It's fun. Alright, here we go. So we do a little check on the establishment. This is the tone of the tune as the check sound happens. Let's see. It's going to just be this chord. Saying, they're trying to replace the neck beginning of that first loop. So technically this whole thing is wrecked. But we're going to continue and go from there. I'm getting better at making more different parts. It's something that I've only tried like 5-10 times now, and I'm pretty comfortable with it. It is showing me that if I continue practice, that what I would be able to do is potentially do a DJ type set where I'm making all of the music of what, meaning like I won't stop is the main thing. Before I was getting really good at just making a beat, having a functional beat, 5 minutes or whatever, going in and out of solos, and then stop. And then a new beat of a new tempo and everything. But I think it's still pretty good. 2 different kinds of skills. But regardless, I was always kind of thinking, like, I think it'd be nice if I could just, like, for example, you know how sometimes DJs do that where it's like, they'll just do like a repeat, and then it'll just be like a new song altogether. That's what I'm hoping to do. The thing is, so in order for that to work, you've got 2 options. One is you know what you're going to loop and what you have to do, or do it by accident, and stick to the same thing. So now if you're in perfect motion with the growth of the time, then you will be able to do this anyway. Right? You just have to do every single thing that you think and act in, every single thing perfectly like some sort of non-physical human being. Of what is really the goal. At that point, I guess I will just like walk through the walls of the White House and expel the evil. Just, like a. They might get on camera, which would be cool. So, like that's not quite right. Which part is it? I don't know. It's almost good. Right, but see, in order for that to work, you have to record it. Right? Like, is that the right sound? I don't think so. But I already recorded it, so now it's stuck like that. So if I turn off, you see, now it's stuck like that. Which means I can either, well, I just deleted it because it didn't sound right. But, you see what I mean? If that thing is going like, sorry. I don't even know what chord I was hitting. I thought it was pretty fun. I don't know. It's gone. Oh well, whatever. Let's try it on another track. Or, let's see, I got an undo. Can I undo? You hit this and then you undo? Let's see if I can do it. I know this is practicing. You just turned it off. Alright, here we go. Right, is that the loop? Is this the loop? I don't know. And then plus, what is it going to play when I get out of this? Because, see, the thing about whenever I'm comparing myself to being a DJ while I'm actually making the music live, is that whenever they start the new track, it's the whole band playing, you know, they just start it and the whole band. With this thing, you have to make every part, right? I have to actually play. I can't play all of it at the same time. So, you know, there has to be like an intro, and so there's this empty feeling where it's like, much. That's not what I was trying to play. Right, it's like it almost works. Right? But you have to kind of forgive it that it's like not the whole band. Right? Because if you were to compare it to like that whole band didn't start at the same time. Why not? Oh, it's one band. Right? I'm at a point in my education where I'm able to go on by myself, but as far as upper education that surpasses the knowledge of society, I'm kind of just poking around. You know, like I talk about the economy a lot of the time, but I really have to get in there and start moving stuff. You know, like, check it out myself. So I'll just try to fake it. Here we go. Wasn't totally sure what was happening with the rest of the loops. I think that I missed a step, like I was saying. If you do everything that you're thinking, it's a time to sit and pray. If you do every single thing that you think exactly the way you think it, and are also creating reality for every person in the planet. Have a great time. A 1, 2, 3, hit it! Very good. So that's all based on this previous beat. Typically, I'll make the beat. I made that beat, for example, in one of these jammerinos. That's where it came from. From me. My jammerino. What's the tempo here? Anybody know? Is it the same beat? Oh, I hit the wrong chord. 2. Congas. All right, hit it with the beat, and here we go. 1, 2, and 3. So, like I'm saying, what I'm looking for mainly, okay, I know Gildan keeps saying, like, I will play drums. There have been maybe total 25 drummers who said they would play. But you know, they come and go. Who knows? I think they all get church gigs or something. They get married immediately. Maybe. I don't know for sure. But check it out. So, the main thing is getting the congas. I know what's his name, Jason Hand or something like that. Mr. Hand. He keeps saying like, I play the congas. And that's cool. Adam Carmen also plays congas, and he's everywhere. So, but just replacing this, right, with a drummer and a conga player, and then I'll do the rest, is kind of the main functionality of the system. And then after that, we've got, we've got several people who want to play bass. I met Blaine in person, for example, and he could play fine. He brought his upright and played electric as well of his own. And then there's, what's his name? I think his name is Eugene Ozdale or something like that. I think he's like a Japanese guy or something who plays bass. He keeps saying like, I'm ready to play bass. And then there's the upright guy. I think his name's like James Keane or something like that. And he wants to play as well. And I'm cool with that as well. Plus there's like all those other people. I think everybody wants Laura, I don't know how to say her last name, Hodachenko. Maybe that's just me. I feel like she's like the prize of Houston. Laura. Is that even your name? She's from like, what, Hungary or something? Anyway. Well, that's okay. Giovanni, obviously, duh. Oh, and then there's that guy, I forgot his name, he's another sax player, and he's ready to go. And, Roberto Rodriguez, he kept saying, yeah. It's like a lot of people. So, I know it's my fault because I didn't have charts already, and I also kind of flaked a little bit because I was like, I don't have enough space currently. After I posted that, but now I do. If you want to see, I mean, it's not that much. You can't tell from the pigs, the dog bed. But this entire area, I mean, honestly, I practiced in rooms smaller than this in college. Full band and everything. And of course, we had everybody walking in the hall, so it's like fun. But here's the thing, so I don't know what this sounds like once I'm talking a lot, right? Obviously, like the goal is like it's just like that the whole time. And just going on for like 15 minutes every time. Alright, so should I start a new beat? Since I kind of ruined this one. Let's see what's here. And a 1E and a 2. It's just like real easy. The less is more concept works with a looper. I think I haven't quite got this done, but for example, Giovanni or that other sax player guy, what would be best? You could do as much as you want to, but what's kind of cool about the looper, if you're into, for example, like Wayne Shorter, what's neat about him is that he'll be standing there for like 10 minutes not playing a note, you know what I mean? And then he'll be like, boo! That was the note, you got it right. Because the silence is part of the note. But you could also use that, especially with that old style saxophone, like rock and roll kind of sound that was popular. It was popular in the 90s even, and in the 80s on like that kind of music, but like old 50s kind of stuff where it was like, like that. It was like, certain spot. That's what we or he just be like, alright, so what about now? This jam part that I just did right now, in my opinion, is that it's all in the same key, and previous incarnations of this practice have involved it being like this, even though I did the A flat part, it would be like, and you know, it's like a totally different, you know, interactive kind of more like like a blues or like a funk soul kind of song or something in a generic, very generic way. In fact, let's just do that now. I'm going to put it here because I mean this stuff's all messed up anyway. So I'll do that and just making sure everything's right on. And just going to keep it real sparse. Things
have done there is maybe this works. Check this out. Let's see if this goes. I'm going to do a similar key structure. And I know this is like, oh, but is it going to be like this at the show? I would hope to know more, or it would just take a lot of the stress off of me to have the rest of the band do something, right? I think so. Hopefully it wouldn't just be like a bunch of reckless parts, like cans on a just married car, but can't be that bad. Here we go. It's the same synth sounds all the time. There's so many synth sounds, I'm sorry. The end. I messed up. So, well, okay, like I'm saying, the big thing is, no, I got the looper and the double neck at the same time. I just broke it now. It's been like a month and a half or whatever. And I bought 2 new necks so far from China. And, well, one of them is a guy who lives in China who sent it from like Iowa or something somehow. Anyway, and they didn't fit right because I don't know everything there's to know about building a guitar, but I'm learning now there are things about it. So there is that. It makes it so much easier to play this stuff. Now the thing is, there are some cons to the situation in that the double neck is very heavy, and so I can't play for very long because it's really heavy. But you know, it's worth it definitely because all the switching and stuff. However, the music does come out a little better playing one instrument at a time, even though it's harder, because playing a bass guitar, it feels like a bass guitar. You know what I mean? Like it's the size and shape of a bass guitar. Whereas the double neck, it's a bass guitar, but it has a guitar that's attached to it. So it's like you're kind of, plus you don't have this angle here because there's a thing here. So you kind of have to just play the thing rather than play the instrument like you would normally play. And likewise, the guitar, I never got the guitar sounding quite right. That's why I started trying to fix it and mess with it ever since a couple of years ago or whatever. And I was always much better on real guitar, normal guitar. This is the guitar that I own, that I got when I was like, I think I was 18 or 19 years old. In 2002, I think, or 1 or 2 or something like that. I don't totally remember. It was in college, and it was when Mars was going out of business, and when I saw it, I was like, this is the guitar for me. And I went and got it, because it was like 100, I literally had that much money, like 100, I want to say it was $189. And this is a brilliant guitar. I love it. It's Washburn. It's called the WG208. And it fits my body and my ability and everything. It sounds great. I have taken it apart, put it back together, put it in a suitcase, flown with it, and it's great. So, you know, it sounds great. Anyway, I'm hoping that the neck, whenever I get it fixed on this double neck, is going to be flat and clean like this one. That was the main thing. I could never get the action low enough. It was like always just a little bit kind of high. And so I ended up playing like more like an old American blues player, you know what I mean? Because their guitars are like the kind of thing where it's like barely playable, but they're playing it anyway. And my fingers turned to stone. And, yeah, but, you know, I did get it pretty close at the end there, right before I messed it up. Man, this is maxed out. This is too loud. The bass is super loud. The guitar. There. That's pretty good. So, I know I'm kind of just jammering. That's it. The thing is, whenever you're playing with a real person, and y'all know this because y'all are real people, the people have their own feel. You know what I mean? They have, even if they're playing the same beat, regardless of, even if they are playing to a track or whatever, but, I don't tend to play tracks, but meaning like, you could say like, all right, play this beat, you, and then, okay, you now play this beat. And even though you could say scientifically they're playing the same thing, obviously people are like, oh, duh, they're going to put their style into it. Well, even if they didn't, somehow you could say, no style, no playing style, just, what, I don't even want to do that. I talked to Blaine about this a lot. It's like, I want to play human music. I want to play, whatever you want to play is what I want to play, because otherwise we're not going to be playing very well, honestly, in my opinion. I played, and what's weird is when Blaine came over, I didn't want to play this. It was like, you know what I mean? I totally lost my appetite for this thing. This stuff, which I would jam out by myself. When he was here, I was like, I just don't really want to jam that. And so we were talking about just different music. A lot of the Medeski Martin Wood, and then, gosh, his name eludes me, but the guitar player. It's like, now that kind of stuff it was real people. Medeski Martin Wood, if y'all know, are some of the realest people around. At least back in the late 90s, 2000s were, and I think they're still the same people, but meaning like very real. And it's hard to explain what real is. I could show you an example of not real, and that's this. Right. Now, I don't want to say anything mean about that, because Blaine was showing off his new drum machine and everything a couple of weeks or whatever ago. But, I don't know, there's this thing about drum machines, it's like it's a whole world, and this is what I have learned to do with drum machines that I'm most comfortable with. Because I'm a real person. And even though I can do electronic-y stuff in the computer, I'm actually very good at making fake stuff. It's just, I don't like fake stuff as much. And I wish I could remember this guy's name that he was talking about the guitar player. But his deal is like, he's excellent at guitar, and his sound, because I guess he's a little bit older than me, probably by maybe at most 20 years. He sounds very clean. It didn't sound weird at all. It sounded very clean. Had that very together funk pop stage band kind of sound. And very clean, very I tried to even play along with him for a moment. I realized my guitar playing is really not as good as it. Even though it didn't sound that hard, it's just not up to that, because I don't sit around and play one instrument anymore. I believe, now this may or may not be true, but I think I was actually a lot better at bass guitar when I was 15. Back in 1998 is when I was 15, and I could play Jaco Pastorius songs, and I guess I could play them now. I don't know. I don't ever play that type of stuff, but his sound was and I was I could play Portrait of Tracy. I don't even remember all the songs, but I don't even remember how to play it, but I learned it in a couple of days, because the guy had the lessons from for a month or whatever at Mars Music. I asked him hey, play this or whatever, and so he just showed me. And so I just memorized it. Now, I guess for some reason, whenever you're younger, you just memorize stuff a little bit more. But, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I don't really even care to compare myself to other people because I can do a specific set of things. You know what I mean? Like, I know how to do this. So I'm not bothered that like this is what I'm doing because technically I like that. Like I make that because I like it. I think like most musicians like their own music. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what even keeps us from not playing. If we didn't like our own music, then we wouldn't play it probably. You know what I mean? So the fact that I can make this is the only thing I can do. And y'all are logged in, so I assume that y'all are interested in me doing that as well. However, yeah, see, here's the thing. Like, I came from the not on piano, but as a bass player, you know, like I don't even know if that's a chord. What's a chord? I've never played on piano before. You know what I'm talking about? You know, like Red Clay. Basically, Red Clay and Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters. Except back in the way back, I actually played in big band because I started pretty young. I started playing in big band when I was 13, which I turned 13 June 25th, 1996. And then I joined the Young Symphony. And I also joined the Houston Musicians Union that same year. And played big band. And I like big band a lot. I think it's super cool. Plus, they liked me because I was like the electric guy. So I could play specifically the fusion and or Latin songs. So I technically like that. Now the thing is, of course, I don't know how to play like authentic Latino things because I don't know. I just don't have that knowledge. Now it's the weird thing where like I'm so neutrally hybridized that you can give me a song and I can play it. Typically, whatever it is, I mean, if it's some sort of pop song. There are definitely things that I don't know how to play if they're super fast or something like that, or like some thing that, you know, it's just really strange or whatever. But typically, anything, you know, you give me a groove, I can jam on a groove with whatever people. And it doesn't matter, Germanic, Jewish. I mean, some Arabic songs I really wish I understood more. Because I'm like, what are you playing? It's so but you know, most of the time I can jam. But as far as like picking me for the, you know, I'm bringing a Tejano band, I'm like, go pick me. About to sing that's okay, I don't mind. But then there's Giovanni right there. You know, maybe you can break it down, break it back. And so check it out, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm really trying to figure out. And but then the thing is, see, the band would be all different mixed up people anyway, so whatever, doesn't matter. And it's not really like my main cup of tea because it's got to be a little bit hybridized. However, I do really like salsa music, but most people who play music like salsa, right? Am I wrong here? Just make it up, you know what I mean? Like, if you are an upper echelon
musician and you know about salsa, you have to kind of admit that those guys are like the China of electronics, and you know what I mean, like Chinese electronics for music. Like it's good, it works. There's obviously good, very good craftsmanship. Now, of course, some of it sometimes is a little generic, but it's a type of generic that's like so far beyond what we got hanging around. It's like, there's no way I can make this. I do not know how. All right, here we go. This is what I can do, and that I can, and I can actually make more stuff. I can take this and make it into a symphony. So most of these people here know me from posting about making the symphony, and that was a message that was given to me from God that I should focus on making a symphony. So I am going to do that. And the thing is, whenever I'm playing any instrument or whatever, I'm choosing notes. Now I choose these sounds because these instruments sound like this to me, right? They sound like, now if I'm somebody else, they say, oh, you know what this sounds like? You know, it sounds like this or whatever. But to me, it sounds like this. Now, there's been a many different things, and some of you may know me from way back when it was like, hey, maybe we'll just make a band. It's like, we just play just straight up jazz chords, like in jazz. What's the chord? Concentrating. It's got to have some because it's not a real piano. It's not totally awesome on this piano. So the reason why I learned those songs was like, I want to say there was like at least 30 of them at one point that were approximately that complex, but they were specifically out of the vocal reel book because I had intended to sing the songs, and so I learned a bunch of them. The song the robin sings from Anyway, so that was the idea because I was like, though I'm not the most elaborate singer guy, as well as I can play these instruments, right, which is an opinion, I can sing just as well as that. Now, the thing is, I kind of fell out of love with singing because I saw some people singing and I was like, ew, I don't want to do that. But I used to think it was all right. But I still really like the Beastie Boys. And what's weird is I can actually do that too. Like, it just as easily. It's kind of the weird thing about it. Meaning, like, if you just hand me the lyrics of the Beastie Boys and you play the Beastie Boys song, I can just do it. You know what I mean? It'll sound exactly like that. The way they do it, I can do their tone, their technique, and everything. And I kind of always knew that I was going to
agreed with was the idea that you would take somebody else's music and use that to make your music. Whenever I was younger, at least, I had a real thing about that. I don't know if I was a classy guy or whatever, but I would be like in a suit, and I'd be like, they don't even make their own music. But the music was really cool, and I could not say that it wasn't. But the thing is, they actually do make their music sometimes, just not most of the stuff. But they make it, you know what I mean. And they just take people's music and make it. But then they also use it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That stuff, one of them died. So stuck with that. I wish, getting back. And so I had this thing where it was just like all the bands that made their real music, like the Roots, for example. I always thought like, okay, well, for example, the first hit album, that blue one, Do You Want More? Which I think is the second album. That was really good. And then there was Groove Collective. Y'all ever listen to Groove Collective? Groove Collective was really good. They made a lot of albums. I had Declassified. Later I had, darn, I forgot the names. There's the one where the guy was like sprawled out on a car, and his Groove Collective tape was like falling out of his hand. And what was the other one? Anyway, the weird thing about that music is it was really good, but it just wasn't quite there yet as far as being either a vocal singing or rapping thing. They have that percussion player who raps, but he just does on like one song on the album. And so it was like, and then they would sing, but if you remember this at the time, back in more like 90s, some 2000s, in the jazzy world, they would just be like, it would just be the title of the song, you know what I mean? It'd be like, give it love, 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 everybody. And that would be it, the whole song. And then they'd be like, give it love, love. And it was like, not quite, it was lacking a little bit, but it was good. And, it is kind of complicated, because when you start just saying stuff, especially when you're rapping, some of it may not make complete sense. And, well, like I think we all know this, what happened was people just stopped caring whether or not the lyrics made any sense. And the nonsense started to become a language. And so it just counts as lyrics, even though it was not even words from our time. Which is fine. It works. And so now there's a kind of more people understand that they can do the thing that the people that don't speak the language do, but they can speak the language. And plus they kind of understand how things mesh. Plus they got a lot more computers. But of course, I don't really like computer music much, which leads to me to Facebook. And having the 78 people who said I wouldn't be in a band. And the focus was, I'll try to remember exactly what I said. It was like, basically it's a symphony that has a backing band that's like a funk jazz, fusion jazz backing band. So keyboard, drummer, guitar player, bass player, percussion player, and then there could be doubles or whatever of some instruments. And then so like a trumpet, trombone, saxophone, at least but really it could be a full-on horn section. of any quantity, as long as there's something. I'm down to the point where I'm like, well, I might get a MIDI guitar, and I'll do it. But then also, specifically, the combination of the horns and violin, cello, and viola at least. And I do have some upright bass players that are interested as well, of what I'm fine with. I think that the thing is, once it gets to, well, I know it's one slight thing, it's like electric player, upright bass player. And it's like, well, once I have an upright bass player, I feel like I should have charts. And be like, you are going to play this. Like, I don't necessarily want you to play anything. Though, see, here's the weird thing about it. It's like, I think a lot of people think about Bill Evans, right, when they think about upright bass player. Because Bill Evans plays his piano so expertly, and then he's got that upright bass player guy who defies the laws of jazz. You know what I mean? Like, people say, "Oh, jazz, you have to play like a walking bass line," and this guy, he'll just be like, he's just like playing the whole time, just stuff. Because Bill's holding it down, he's like, making super dance, awesome chords, and it's got a great melody. Ooh, and so he's just like, and it doesn't matter, it sounds great. Well, I don't have that type of ability currently. I wish that I did, but I've got a very specific ability. And so what I'm focusing on is kind of like Nirvana, right? But instead of Nirvana, it's the Beastie Boys. And instead of the music of the Beastie Boys, it's the music of Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters. Except instead of the Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters, it's me and you all, including Giovanni. And we might play instrumental stuff, because sometimes, what if it is just like, I don't even like dig anymore, to be completely honest, so I don't care. Like, if you wanted to call out, like, I'm thinking people play jazz heads anymore, do they? I feel like whenever I'm looking at the Facebook things of people's gigs, they're like playing hits from the billboard with a track, right? It's like a solo person standing there, sitting there, and they're playing a track of some song that I've never heard, and they're just kind of playing it, whatever it is. And I don't know those songs, but I could. It's not really my specialty, you know what I mean? I have a real specific style that, I wouldn't say it's like my handicap, but in a way it is the thing, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to drive this particular vehicle, you do this, you know what I mean? Like, why would you not do this if this is what you sound like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like playing whatever. Now, this getting better, right? That would be excellent. But see, better is a tough one for me, because I never really defined better as being anything except just more you. I can tell if it's you. You know what I mean? Meaning like, you know what I mean? If it's you, if it's the real you, I can tell. And you can say, well, this is me. This is me. Yeah, well, if it's really you, then do this. You know what I mean? At least in your own style. Of you. to argue. You know, if you are a cover band musician, like that's who you are. I don't even know what that means, really. You know what I mean? I'm not. I can admit that. Because I'm not good at pretending I'm other people. I'm so bad at it. It sounds bad. It's the only thing I could. You know, I know it sounds kind of defeating, but it's true. If you were like, all right, here we go, the Willie Nelson tribute band. No, it's not going to happen. It's going to sound wrong. And I know I said, like, if you're playing a karaoke track of the Beastie Boys, and I could do that. I guess I could imitate that, but the thing is, I can't take out me from the picture. You know what I mean? And I don't think anybody can, really. I actually think of myself as kind of ahead of the game, because whenever I see a cover band, usually I'm like, it looks like you're having fun, which is great. But as far as like, are you being you? I don't think so. And they would have to say that they're not, because it's not them. Now, as far as if you look at like watching a real rock band in the 70s or something like that, that made that real music, and I would say that's really them. And you could tell the difference. But as far as even if you could imitate them, that's not them. That's not what I want. If I want to see, you know, Gilly Hamilton singing a song, I want to see her singing her own song. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see her pulling off a Robert Plant or something. You know? I guess it's all right, but you know what I mean? Like, that's just my philosophy personally. Alright, so let's see what I'm going to talk about. I got a message back from Serato, so I wrote to Serato, and I said I want to be able to control Serato with my MIDI messages from the RC505. Specifically, I wanted to just start and stop and synchronize BPM, right? And so, and if you don't know what Serato is the DJ software, like Tractor or whatever. And they say that they don't do that. So I looked at so here's the other thing. I don't want to get too deep in the gear of fixing this stuff, because I don't even want to do that. You know what I mean? Like I've been saying, just a real drummer, a real conga player, basically a real James Brown type band, but with a string section, at least bare minimum, with me, and go from there. But as far as maybe getting a DJ, I'd be totally fine with having a DJ if there's some way to synchronize my stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'll be able to synchronize just by, you know, like just dragging the vinyl a little bit, you know, and just hope that it keeps on time, but I don't know. So there's other options, and that's maybe get a duplicate of this thing, or an MPC, which sounds like probably the best idea. But the very first thing I'm going to buy, whenever I'm going to buy any equipment, is the single hybrid neck with 3 bass strings and 4 guitar strings. Period. That second thing on the list is honestly a bass clarinet. Because that's part of my deal. I play the bass clarinet, and that's who I am. So, it's going to be a new thing for me. It's just an awesome sound. It's the style. I can play it up like a real snare. having a functional thingery band. I think I can do it. So now all this stuff here, we just have to talk it over. Like real men in a table, the dark lights and one light in the middle. Do we want to start and stop songs? Amounts of time, 3 or 5 minutes. Should we play 45 minutes straight and not stop? And I mean like this type of stuff, you know. Because as far as getting out of control, I am not an out of control type musician. Or anything. I'm an in control person. And that is how I stay. If it gets out of control and it's not my gig, I will go outside. And if you know Adam Carmen, he will actually do the same thing. It's like, it's not my thing. This is not, I'm not this. I don't belong here. I'll be outside. I will be here if you want to talk to me. But, yeah, no, I'm in control. I'm just keeping it low. Right? I know the volume is a little loud because I'm a person. That's what I'm into. I know a lot of people are into the lax. You want to see me do something? I don't. Let's not do that. I don't really mean, you know what I mean? Like, not even like as a solo. Like, I don't want it to be like, now you just do your own thing. I'm going to walk outside for 15 minutes, just blow out. Do a drum solo for no, I don't think so. I don't think so. No. If it's over, just stop. Just play the music on the PA. And you know, let's just keep it back like that. You know, like just chill at the bar, have a drink. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to not know what we're talking about. I don't want to be laughing. You know, if anybody's laughing, it's on stage, and it's when one of the other members is talking to somebody. Nobody heard what I said. That's where I'm at. I'm a little right. Now, of course, if somebody else is playing, it's not our night. Let's just be kind of reckless and loud. Well, just barely abusive, and also cheering them on. Like, yo, go! Some guy loves this music because I love it too. That was me out of corner. Such fool, like, you can give me an accordion guy, can't even stand. I just be like, play the one note. Like a big ass hat. It's like, he's a special guest. Yeah. Yeah, he's a legend. He doesn't even really exist. Like, he's big. I'm not gonna jam anymore, but I'm just gonna go through my jam here and see what we got. So just in case you're sort of late, this is just me making up stuff as is, you know. Like, I have Blake Snake away on the Bob Ross Picasso funky jams. Put a little happy fun guitar. Maybe we'll put a little synthesizer. Maybe we'll come bring it back. Bring it back. Alright, so let's see what else is left over from today's jam. Last time our jam we had. So, right, I have proof that the 7-string 3 bass 4 guitar hybrid sounds like a bass guitar. Right. That's it. I could add more. It looks fashionable, stylish. Obviously, it's somewhere in between the size of a bass and a guitar. Is easy to learn. Just think of it like, well, now you got EAD bass strings and you got an ADGB guitar strings. So if you're playing with the guitar strings, you're going to want to play those strings. If you're playing with the bass strings, play the bass strings. And there you go. Now, as far as I don't know if it's going to be quite like this, because this came out like this was this real instruments. This thing's going to be some sort of super, you know what I mean? It's a superhero of instruments. It's like, oh, no big deal. Just, is that sticking? No, that's real. That's real. That is real. I've been working on that a little bit. I know I'm kind of rambling on, but basically getting magic powers like Jesus and then actually doing real miracles in movies. So I could say I do my own miracles. So that's the way I jam. I know it's not hip hop because I looked up how hip hop sounds and it does not sound like this. Now, I was kind of wondering, see, the thing is, in order for it to sound like hip hop, as far as I can tell, it has to be taken out of context. Now, if you can prove me wrong, then that would be good. Otherwise, you're looking at kind of a weird situation where you have to have an entire orchestra in an isolation room that played with the mute on for their whole lives. And then unmute for just 2 seconds, and they're done. Meanwhile, at the same time, you have an entire band ready, playing with the mute on. Right? And then, at the same time, unmute, they're playing just for a second there, mute. And it may sound like a real band, but the thing is, my music is based on real people. The way that real instruments play and sound together. And the way even the voice sounds when you're with a person. the real person. And so there's a real thing that happens, especially whenever you're taking a solo or something like that. And I absolutely know it is true. If you try to play outside of my music, you will hit a wrong note. So, let's just play this. Now, this is designed with a handicap procedure. That is, if you play a wrong note in my music, I know it sounds like it's two different things, but you will actually play the right note. Now, it doesn't work all the time, as far as I understand, because you can play something totally wrong. But it's intended to work this way, because I'm not the best guitar anything guy. So it's meant to be like, if you're stepping here and there's nothing there, it's still going to sound like music. That's the way the music is. Now, that's why these chords are made. Because I already went through how to play, the standard shit, right? So we got this chord. We got this chord. We got this chord. Or whatever. Or it can be even the or let's say it's minor. We got this chord. We got this chord. Of those things called diatonic chord progression. If you solo over all of them, right? There are wrong notes, believe me, they're everywhere. Right? I can choose. Oops. Right. We all know about oops. There's not an oops, oops, oops. There's not an oops, oops, oops. There's an oops. So that's, and then after that, because this, believe it or not, I'm on incarnation 50. Once you do all that stuff, you're like, this is what you're doing. So, even though it sounds like I'm saying, I know what happens. It's real. Now, you can play the wrong notes on purpose, or you can play the right notes on purpose. That's up to you. This also isn't a thing you think about. It's like, just play it. I can try to prove it by playing this stuff, right? I'm gonna play a song, I'm gonna play a song. But the thing is, I have violent opposition to negativity. Even it's like, I hate Broski. That mood does not vibe with me. It doesn't relax me. It doesn't allure me. I know how to do it so well that it can allure certain types of people. And I know that. And that's why I don't do it. Because it just doesn't work. And it also is really bad to do this. Like, I've never done that. It's a big no-no. Right? You do this. And I was also about this thing for a while, and that is the royal harmony. So technically speaking, it's only ever correct to play a major triad based around the melody. So if you go like, some people would argue that this is the chord, right? And you can go like, or whatever, or you can do jazzy things, like, I guess you could do like, or whatever. But technically speaking, it's only ever correct to do. Oops, there you go. That is the actual. It's not taught in any school. I'm the only person, as far as I know, who knows this is real. But it's a thing that we can only agree on. That it is correct. Everything else, you can say like, is that not correct? Is the question, but is that not correct? Is not. This is correct. Right, there's no question. In fact, that is it. It leaves a sound of there is no question. It's a statement. Right? Is this not correct? Is the question? No, it's not. It's nice. Which is why you always hear it misused. You know what I mean? Whenever people make beats and stuff off of it, they'll make lyrics that are like, they twist it all up. And they'll just say like nasty shit, bad stuff. But they do it with a style. You know what I mean? They're like, I got stoned and I fell off the phone, you were not home. Strapped my gat to my back. And it's like, oh God, this song, it's interesting, but it's wrong. It's totally wrong. And so, I know it's a brave thing to say, but it's totally true. And that's why you have to do this. Together, and you can tell if they're not the right ones because if you do it wrong, it will sound cluttered and strange. Let's see, because it's like if I have to play D, E flat, you have the option of B flat, D, or G. Right? Tell you right now because there was no question. Now, if you want to hear an alternative, it's not totally, is there something more correct? It's just, is there something else? attention. People like that. Believe it or not, this is actually good crazy. Maxed out. Oh, this is a turn to this now. I messed it up because I didn't mix it. Look at it again. Look at it. I was playing that basic. Chord change. Just as since I'm already here, I'm probably running out of power pretty soon, but I didn't really save any of the stuff anyway, so whatever. Let's just say that my first thought is that, right, 2, 3, and I know it's a lecture at this point, but these chords are fine. Okay, I'd like to just mention his name, Dwayne Massey. So Dwayne Massey, that's his name, the trumpet player. He posts his videos of him playing trumpet, right? They sound great. But he posted one of him playing piano, and it was that synth something sound. I think it was Feel Like Making Love. And he played it really expertly, specific, very well chosen, very exact rhythms. And it's one of those songs that's got the chord changes that are elaborate, that kind of extra, a little bit extra chord of what I'd like. I don't do very much here. I'm in kind of a middle area where I don't use very bland chords. Not that I dislike bland chords, but it's because the loop thing ends up being like you have this much opportunity to be creative, spontaneous, innovative, and then but keep it short. This isn't it though. This is the other thing. This stuff runs out. Right? This is almost like literally going home music. You know, like people are like, hey, it's time to go home. I was thinking the same thing. You know, one more round, we're gonna hit the road. It's just got that vibe. Yeah, I'll probably wrap it up pretty soon. Maybe one more dance. Get everybody on. Step, okay. The turn, after this, two more rounds. We're gonna go home. Everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. Why? It's a no-brainer. We got one brainer. Hold on, there's a Simpsons joke anyway. Here we go. We were originally going to call it the one brainer, but then it was taken. We wrote him an email. Can we share your email response? Alright, here we go. Do we want more chords on this jam? Why not? Why not? Why not? So let's see what we got here. So if I want to play the bass, I'll play the guitar. We'll go with the guitar. Right. I know it's a little brave. We're going to play some guitar solo. Now, here's an idea I hope to work, and that is I play something on this. It has to be in the same key, right? On another track, kill the track, and then come in with the. Whatever the hell I'm playing. But I don't know. Alright, so I'm thinking G is kind of the key center, right? It's still like this is the end of the song. It still sounds like, yeah, and then after that, that's when my ex-wife was like, all that. Got something I never showed up with. Maybe the deal is I'll just keep one instrument on already really good and I'll just alternate. Say the rule is whenever you start this, you start at the opposite thing or something else. Okay, did I even do any chords? I don't know what the chords G. Yeah, I do. C. F. Alright. Should have hit the repeat. Alright, so if I put the bass back on, and then we're going to go with the, I guess it goes to E flat, right? That's kind of the idea. I guess I should play something. I'm getting better at it, but I still got some thought processes. Alright, so more. Try it again. Take two. This is why I always choose this type of chord, at least in these jams. And here we go.
But did it match? The grade my own beat. Does it match? Right? Technically speaking, so got A, B, C, D, and E. This got messed up, so it doesn't count. That part doesn't count. Here we go. So far, it makes it a little weird, but let's see. I think I did it out of time. Because I was messing up and stuff. I keep thinking to myself, what I want to do is I want to have an old mixer, like, y'all remember the Realistic from Best, what's it called, Radio Shack? I keep looking at maybe the Realistic or maybe getting like a tape deck. And I heard about this thing, so if y'all know about the original delay from Boss, I think, it actually had a tape in it that it would roll around. So whenever you played something, it would actually play the tape back. My thought process is like, you know when you pump something through a tape deck, it sounds better? I know that sounds kind of vague, but that's the way that the distortion is. See, when a thing distorts digitally, it's a very unpleasant situation. When a tape distorts, it doesn't get bad sounding for a while more. There's an area there where it just goes like, it gets weird sounding at first, and that's what I would prefer, you know what I mean? Like, it might just kind of get vague sounding for a moment. Or sometimes it just actually just get like messy, like, and then it does kind of, but it doesn't just go like, it just goes like, and it just kind of fills up the sound. So the thing is, because I'm kind of doing this all like impromptu and I have to mix it and everything, I would like it, and I'm like, maybe it's going to be a little compressed, but I really like this compressed because it sounds kind of funny. But maybe if I get an old analog mixer and its last final stage is that mixer, then maybe it'll just burn in the circuits rather than getting like all the way to there. Then it's like too loud. Now, just going through this old analog mixer here. Check it out, turn it up real loud. You know, they're like maxed out. And it's because I was trying to get it louder. And instead of turning it all the way up, I just turned him up. I guess it was him being me playing the keyboard. You know what I mean? I turned the keyboard player up, but it was too low. You know what I mean? Alright, so check it out. Well, maybe it is. I'm just gonna send put it through a compressor before it gets in here. I guess.
there is no swing on the drums or the congas, right? If you just listen to the congas and drums, even though I'm swinging, if you just carefully listen to this, it's just. I just noticed that the other day. Oh, I thought the swing was on. I was okay, so I am working on getting a DJ mixer. The thing is, though, I will be getting a DJ thing. As reluctant as I am to get it, I want it, and I will enjoy it. But meaning like a laptop with like one of those DJ controller things, so I can just play music. Like a normal DJ, just play songs. And then you can also do the scratch sound effect. And that's it. So, I mean, with the new software or anything, you can just set it to like cheat mode. So it doesn't matter what you scratch, you know what I mean? Like, it just always turns out alright. Auto music on. Just like, exactly always correct. Definitely not even. That's why you get so many people doing that on the internet, where it's like, they have like 2 tons of equipment in front of them, and they're like actually just faking. It's like, people are like, that's not doing it. You're not doing it, it's fake. It doesn't mean that they're not actually there, they're really there. They got like 10,000 people there. Of course, you don't want to make a mistake. It's just like people when they would, you know, they sing their backup track or whatever. They're not really singing, they're singing. This is DJ singing. This DJ singing. Technically speaking, I use that number. So I think that everything, just making sure. So, I mean, I have been writing them for a moment, and maybe they took it up on my original critique of the device, because they made a part 2 that has extended features. They might be add that in the works anyway, but I'm kind of what I'm telling them to do is have a thing called the like rhythm accompaniment device. And I gave them this little weird picture schematic thing I made. It was like pieced together. The hope is that you can make all these tracks, right? Let's say I make this entire track, or a track on the computer, or whatever. In the machine, I tell it, or on the computer or whatever, and it tags the signal somehow into the file, the data, metadata or whatever, and it says like, when I start here, my tempo here, for example, is 97.4. So play this thing at 97.4, and it's going to play my entire song. Now, meanwhile, I'm going to be playing my parts and making loops. Now, the easy version of this, ultimately, and I told them this, was ultimately the goal is to have sampled real drums. So if I play the entire drum track myself, I want to be able to put it in a machine, because I talked to the DJ people in their community about if I was going to play a CD or an MP3, and the answer is no. You can kind of fake it, and you can hope for the best, but as far as like a music instrument communicating with a DJ equipment, the answer is does not happen. Which is a total bummer. But I think they'll get the picture in pretty soon, because it's not that hard. And so, for example, let's say I just even want to play a piece of my drum set, right? Just me playing this beat. We'll just go on. Right? Like, let's say I don't like the sound of this drum machine. They got voted least sexy drum machine on YouTube. Well, maybe it's because they didn't know me. But, so, what I want to do is I want to play that real beat. Because first of all, I'm a real person, and I sound better than a robot. In this instance. Because I have style. You see what I mean? Just like this, it would match this perfectly. It would be like this kind of emotion. But it would be me, right? So you got the real. So it sounds like a real record bass. And so the thing is, it has to be able to play in my time. And it also has to be able to play spontaneously any tempo I play at. So if you know about drum machines, they are playing MIDI triggered events on MIDI time code. In this instance, it's being pumped out from this RC505 over a MIDI cable. So whenever I hit stop, it receives the signal stop. No more information. Done. Starts it. Right? It also understands when every beat is happening, because it's giving it the information of what thing we are on at any moment. So if I change the tempo, and I hate to do this, but here we go. Right? We're at a different tempo. It's creating the beat as I am telling it what time it is. Right? I get that. So it has to be able to do that. And so the more important thing is, because obviously another alternative, and I was looking at this today, and that is getting a separate sampler where I just play a bass drum and a snare drum myself and a hi-hat. And why it's so sad is because it's just going to sound like this. Right? Because it's, even though it's me playing, it's going to just be this machine is playing. Whereas if I am playing it, I'm going to put my own style into it. And that's going to be so much better. Because it is me. Right? The rest of it's me anyway. And getting it to that point for me is where I'm like, see, that's where I can go from making just these little jams, which to me are great, right? As far as a cake in a box, you know what I mean? Like, it's ready to go. But taking it to that next level is like, I don't really like these congas as much. You know, I love congas. Maybe you know that about me. Because I love congas so much, that's why even these congas are good enough. I'm like, it's conga. It's conga. Yeah, that counts. But as far as like, you know, this is fine. I don't want to say it's bad. But it's just not the real thing. So, if you understand this about me, the goal was always with the double neck, but now the hybrid one neck, bass and guitar. This amount of music can come from me. Drum set, congas, saxophone, trumpet, other sax, trumpet, trombone, whatever you got. Violin, cello, maybe bass playing from somebody else. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't bother me. If I have the one guitar that's one neck, whatever. I don't want to play bass like all the time. It doesn't matter to me. I like to play bass all the time, but I also actually, I mean, the thing is, I can't play an entire song in this situation. I know I talk about this all the time, but there is such a thing as playing an entire song. You know what I mean? These don't even have songs. That's why I'm on like rap mode. I have enough music to make a rap video. As far as like having an actual song. Not that rap songs aren't songs. They just, maybe, I don't know what to call them, composition or whatever. You know what I mean. Like, but this is where I'm kind of in between. Now here's the other thing. If you stick around for long enough, you know already that the last thing I was trying to work on that I got so far with was I took one of these jams. I don't remember what the jam was, but it was like some beginning part or whatever. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna, instead of making it just like a jam video, I took it into the computer. I put those chords in the computer. And then I constructed something like 6 other parts of MIDI information on a normal MIDI track that was not repetitive, that went from part to part like a normal song. And the idea is that any of those sections, even though they compose to an entire section, can be as lateral as like, technically speaking, I know how to jam on like anything pretty much, you know what I mean? If you just say like, this is your chord or whatever, alright, I can jam on that chord, you know? Even if it's just like, this is your chord, I know how to jam on that. It's not that easy, but you know what I mean? That's the idea. And so, any of it's going to be this music. And that's where I left off. That's where I'm at. And then I broke my guitar. It's not so bad. Maybe it can be repaired. I had I just talked to the guy on the internet, and he's like, I don't know if he speaks Chinese or whatever, but he's like, I assure you, rest assured, this will be remedied or something like that. It was real. The wording was strange. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I do feel assured that you will do something. Great. I don't know what that means. He said, do you want a partial refund? The thing is, because I had set up an eBay store, I know that that is a procedure that they say to ask anybody, anything that they ever want to return. It says in the template, whenever somebody asks for a return, it says like, would you like to ask them for a partial refund? And I was like, I don't know. If I can sell this guitar neck, because I don't have any use for it, it doesn't fit. Now the last one I tried to sell just sold super fast. If this one sells, and it's not a very famous name or anything on it, then I wouldn't mind if it just sits in the closet. Like, I don't like extra stuff in general. And so, I can give it away or something. Or I can stick it on and maybe it'll work. But I'd rather learn from this mistake and end up with a better guitar than I had. And then I don't even intend on using this bass ultimately all the time, maybe sometimes. But the main goal is because it's a little lighter. Plus, you can play them at the same time. You know what I mean? And that's what's really neat about it. So you can go like, so you're like, and it's like chord, bass. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever you might end up playing. Probably this. Or either or. So if I just want to play some guitar most of the night, and then some bass or whatever. Anyway, that's where I'm at currently. Check it. To me, it's pleasant, right? To me, it reminds me of 70s laid back soul records, something like that. I did this one out of order by accident. I could play some more guitar. Specifically, I was doing a practice where I was talking about how mostly I do this thing where I'm moving like this. Because that, I was also talking about there's this actual thing, which is that you're supposed to play only major triads at any time. And how, as compared to like this kind of like stuff like this, is actually not the correct way to play. It sounds nice, but that's not what it is. And then the idea was to just make a bunch of beats off of its sections, right? So like this would be a part of the same song. You know, it's kind of composed like a DJ or something like that. beat is off. Oh, maybe it would have worked. I don't know. So I did this one backwards. It's got those kicks printed in on it. Because I was hitting it while I was just to reiterate throughout, the music. Okay, first of all, if you see my videos before, I just play the stuff live and I just make it up with the bass and the guitar and stuff. Based on just like, what is groovy, what's funky, in my opinion, and it's like this. It is intended to be a mixture of like, you can play a saxophone solo on it, or you can play whatever solo on it. You can rap on it, or you can also sing on it. Any of that stuff works as far as I'm concerned. And the specific kind of rapping is that multi-vocalist kind of stuff where it's like, we say, they say, this is the thing that we say today, they say, they say. It's like, and there's a lot of like the hype vocal, like double, triple man kind of like, or it could be like, oh, this is the song. It's like, yeah, this is the song that we sing. This is the song. Whatever. And it's just supposed to work with a solo violin. DJs. And I do intend on getting one of those. I was looking at it, if you know about this. There's a little tiny turntable. It's like this big. Now, of course, they're using it, for the much more disastrous type of sound that I don't really know how to do very well. Spooky, scary. But, of course, it can work with it. And it's just like, now the thing is, it's not a true crossfader, because they just have like one fader, like on or off. But I think ultimately it would have to have, I've got this one thing here that I can do on the RC follow track, which is like, do this. Which is pretty cool. That's a very new, modern thing for me. I've had this thing for like 5 years or whatever, but in my life. So there you go. And so this is not what I started with, but this is just a practice to see if this can work. I enjoy the jam machine. Very good. But, you know, I haven't had an opportunity currently, or maybe I had many opportunities. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't experienced the full-on real jazz band and this thing. Still to this day. I have played jazz once upon a time. Oh my God, we're jazzing on. You know, or whatever. Or whatever, you know. Which is kind of where this all came from. And I'm still just trying to get these normal jazz people to be like, and Giovanni's kind of the main guy, but he's also a Latino guy. So he offers the whatever that is. I mean, I like Latino music, you know what I mean? I'm Latino, kind of. Latinish, you know what I mean? I think moving to Spain would make me much more Latino. And or Miami is kind of the main. I think I'd come back like, speak Spanish. Okay, so some of the best jazz albums in my appreciation: Maiden Voyage, Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. I like that recording studio. I like that it was just real raw. It also has a kind of airy, spaciousness to it. Not very new sounding. I think it was recorded in maybe late 60s. Something like that. Maybe at most 72. And it's got a really cool sound. I like the real raw instrument sound. It's also, they weren't really isolating at that time. They were just playing in a room. And so it just sounds good. But also, if you listen to Herbie Hancock's first album, it also sounds really good. It's got a more close-up pop kind of vibe with the drums and everything. It's kind of, but the vibe's a little different. And it's like piano. And you know, I know that song became famous later, and now it's like people play it and they're like, I'm like, oh yeah, you're really rocking that song, yeah. But the original vibe was just like kind of laid back. It was like, look, I'm a jazz guy, and I'm playing like a pop song almost, right? Now it would be considered to be very pop. That's a great album too. They also play just jazz sometimes. It's very grab bag kind of. Well, you got, if you want to jazz, you can go there. If you want to groove, you can go there. Which is cool. I don't really jazz off very much nowadays. Just, I don't know. I could only get so far in that anyway before I was like, you know what, guys, I think we're going the wrong way. You know? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I've been looking at the map, and I think we're supposed to exit. Sorry. Is that something?
Back at the Beastie Boys. Whatever. Let's see what I got here. So this is all based around diatonicism. Believe me, I jammed on diatonicism. I know about it. Know what I mean? I damned the jam, you know what I mean? Like, it was all... You know what I mean? It was begging and pleading. I mean, like, it was all about that. But I've moved on. As long as she's calm, you know what I mean? Like, calm to me. You know, one day we're going to figure out that Latino music. Okay. Was that 2 and 3? Okay. They'll be like, oh, have you heard of the clave? You tell, Mr. Science. Well, it goes a 1, a 2, a 1. Oh, okay. Is that a... Well, you know, because I've heard them. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so... What is that? I'm more cute anyway. I don't know. Something like that. Believe me. Richard Salvador. Get him. Call him. Plug in. Bring him a cookie, you know what I mean? Like he loves. It's great. He can do. Yeah. Think. There you go. Cut all this out. Like, oh, okay. This sounds real. I'd be fine with it, but just keep them in the studio. Don't ask them to do anything. This is my personal, you know what I mean? I'm like Trump. I got a one personal Latino. Where's my Latino? Let's bring him in here. All right. I don't know if people do that anymore. Y'all know about that, the old timey. You know what I'm talking about.
far as like, oh, you mean this? Oh, shit, no. Sorry, wrong. Did I go that far? You're like, oh, you know what I'm talking about? Later. Later on. So, okay, like I was saying, I don't typically use diatonicism anymore. Because it's dangerous. People see it in many ways. It's a little bit weird, but the goal is to do this. It's a harmony that I may have invented. And that is that you use triads, major triads only. It's a secret code that unlocks the tunnel to a magic thing where there's a voice that is God, I guess. You must touch nothing in this tunnel. Not the mind. So let's say I'm going to go from here to here. F sharp has B, obviously F sharp, and also D, right? So if I'm here, I'm going here, it can be, or it can be, it's not as strong, but nice. However, it's not just music. It has to do with what you are saying and thinking about. Just like you can go like, this song is lovely. Or just like you can go, this song was everything. Two different harmonies, because they're not the same. Or there was a bird that day. Same melody, not the same meaning. Must be done correctly. You cannot make a mistake while playing it because it sounds wrong. Now you don't have to play it perfectly while you're making it, but you must choose wisely when you submit your files to the thing. Just like it is in real life. Now, because that is a vague statement, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I've unlocked. No, it has to have an entire meaning. It has to be more than that. So it works. It's good. It's heavenly. You can do it. Sing to the birds, and they will agree. Which is what's really nice about it, because it can validate the existence of some other consciousness. I happen to know. I feel like the 13 dominant sus is a clear substitution for a otherwise major 7. Now, what I kind of like about a major 7 is with the usage of a 70s recording studio, acoustic guitar, an acoustic drum set, kind of stuff like that. You can make like really plain pre-rock folk. I had to throw that record, but I'm gonna hit maybe B. It's easy to jam. Let's just find one of these we're gonna delete. Or, I don't know if it's worth even saving all this stuff at this point. It's kind of a mess. How about the original one? Whatever. We know it jammed. Right? And of course, if you want to get more of that, you can also, we know this as musicians, playing the jazz, playing the inverted 9 minor, right? And it works the same way. It just has a more like late night 90s VH1 commercial kind of tone. So here we go. Without any drums, because it's a specific sound and it's not the new sound. It's the older sound, which is what is going to be so cool about getting that working. I hit the wrong one because I was thinking the wrong thing. Also, if I have some words, let's make up some words. In the vibe of pre-rock folk with drum set, 70s to late 60s song involving mostly acoustic guitar, but also some Fender Rhodes. Just say, 'cause I was that guy. And go like, 'cause I was that guy. Just act like it's cut. I was that guy back then. Right? And if I had the mic, it would just record in that loop kind of all the time, because it's like how to that guy back then. Right? You know what I mean? Because it's a sample, but it's me. Back then. I don't have an acoustic, but I'll do something. That's why I end up going like. Back then. 'Cause I was that guy. Back then. Right, just enough that it sounds like a sample. Put a little bit of rhythm in there, just to make it not enough that it's like a real sample. So I'm just gonna copy this like here. But obviously, from that point, especially with the real acoustic guitar, and like a tambourine, giving it that old school flavor, then you can go like, like I picked up my eggs in a basket. Without that, I had it, but I had
It could be a real beat on a record. If it would stay in time. Anyway, so even though that works, I consider it a graduation to this chord change. So what did I do? A to A flat, B. So that's what I say is the most logical next best thing, literally in order. Which sounds like it's a negative, but it's the actual next best from the previous best. Or quite heard it just like that. But this is funny too, you know what I mean? Like people doing that. This is more like empty old people hanging out, you know. I know the beach is good, just like it should be. Old people hanging out and stuff. Kind of works. Just like it. You know what I mean? See, that's the thing. Like, it works in that functionality. Whatever. I proved that. So, as far as I'm concerned. Now, let's just do the same thing with just E flat, A flat, B with the 13. Let's just see what it works. E flat, A flat, B. Something like that. So technically speaking, you can sing on that. It doesn't sound as sing-songy as the previous version, but it's just as easy. It's like just say the same over just improving. It's more like if you don't prove it, you can prove it. That's the evidence
required to now enable lives through the power of Jesus Christ, our Savior, Lord, and cheesemaker. Jizzy, who happens to be, and if I could do my Christopher Walken, he happens to be what I'm saying. All right, anyway. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about. And thanks for joining in. I'm about to roam out the side and see what's up. But if you want more genres, tell me now. What was that? Who did that one? Tell me now. That was the Ghostbusters 2 guy. The guy who ran the museum. That's what that was based on. I don't know, that actor was just in that one movie.